Well, good afternoon and welcome into Schwab Field here on the campus of the beautiful Brook Hill Schools here in Bullard. I'm K.O. Kyle Owens alongside Jaron Peoples here on NETSN. We are here for the TAPS Division II area round matchup between the Brook Hill Lady Guard and the Fort Worth All Saints Saints. So we're expecting a good one here, and thank you for joining us here on a Tuesday afternoon. Jaron, this is an interesting time for a playoff game.
It is, and luckily both of you and I were able to come out, and it's playoffs, so you definitely want to broadcast that and get that word out. But yeah, kind of an interesting time, but I imagine part that because of travel and things like that for this team from Fort Worth. So,
and we're going to stand by here for a word of prayer. All right, so we're going to get the starting lineups here this afternoon for this area round matchup. For the Fort Worth All Saints Saints, you got batting first and leading things off. Number 5, the catcher, Bailey Toscano. Batting second, number 8, playing shortstop, Jessica Cliff. Batting third and pitching, number 3, Heidi Peterson. Batting fourth and playing second base, number 16, Maggie Meyer. Batting fifth and playing third base, number 24, Ava Berry. Batting sixth and playing the designated player, AC Hardaway, wearing number 10. And I feel like I'm doing the same time as he is, and I don't want to mess anybody up. Hey, we got some TV crews in attendance here tonight.
Sanders, right?
Yeah, for KTK getting some looks here. But Aubrey Greer is in center field wearing number 11. She's batting 7th. Wearing number 12, batting 8th in right field is Vivian Dial. And the 9-hole hitter at first base is number 15, Lily Von Ruff. And we'll get the Brook Hill Lady Guard in a second. But, Jaron, I want to get your thoughts on this game. You know, we saw Brook Hill here. Last time that I called a Brook Hill softball game here, we saw Carmen Miller throw a perfect game against Grace and record her 500th, 700th career strikeout, one of those. I think it was a lot of strikeouts. And she got interviewed by KLTV the very next day. You can search Carmen Miller and KLTV in Google, and it'll pop it up right there. But anyway, Jaron, what are your thoughts on this game going in here today with Brook Hill and Fort Worth All Saints?
Well, they go in as the number 2 seed for the district. They, had split with Hyde Park here. Another couple of games that we had done and broadcasted for them, but then so they end up playing a tiebreaker game at a neutral location against Hyde Park and fell, I believe, just by 1 run.
Yeah.
And so they go in as the number 2 seed. And, they're defending state champions, right? So there's a target on their back, so to speak. And so I think it's going to be good. Now, the winner of this series or this game will go on to play a really tough Midland Christian team who is
stand by, Jaron. We got national anthem. As I'm sure you can hear through the headphones, very windy day here in Bullard as we get ready for this area round matchup between Brook Hill and Fort Worth All Saints. Jaron, this win, brother.
Yeah, we don't even have a crowd mic out. It's just
So
some intense win there.
The you were saying though, Brook Hill, the defending state champs, they're coming in here as a 2 seed, so kind of had some tight contest with Hyde Park, and like you said, a tough Midley Christian team awaits the winner of this game. But specifically today, Jaron, with Carmen Miller in the circle, it's hopefully the last time we saw her against Grace, she had a really good outing, so maybe she picks up right where she left off from that game.
Yeah, you know, Carmen Miller, a signee commit with UT Tyler, obviously a very good Division II program, and so no slouch in the circle by any means, right? And so, so I think a lot of it really goes through her. You know, is she on? And if she is, it's going to be tough for this All Saints team.
I agree. Let's give you the rundown of who's in the field for the Brook Hill Lady Guard. We talked about Carmen Miller in the circle. Her battery mate behind the plate is Blair Brister. You got Lakata at first base, Booth at second, Harley at short, Matthews at third, Matheny in left, Juliana Mize, the flex players in center field, and Winkle is in right field. Now we're getting ready for action here on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Now it's cloudy, it's overcast, but the sun's peeking through there, Jaron, and I don't think we have any rain on the way, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think we're good. It's been pretty overcast, but like you said, really windy, and especially with softball, I think that can really have an effect on that.
It could play a factor. We'll have to see tonight or this afternoon, especially with how windy it is. You're right, those fly balls could be very difficult.
Yeah.
So we're about to get underway here. Bailey Toscano, the catcher, leading things off for All Saints against Carmen Miller in the circle. And this area round matchup is underway with a ball to get things started. 2:01 on your Tuesday afternoon.
Field's in great shape. Coach Springer and the crew does a great job with this field.
Yes. Big swing and a miss right there from Toscano, and that's something that we saw from Carmen last time we were here against Grace. She has a lively fastball, and she has a very good off-speed pitch as well to keep hitters off balance. 1 ball and 1 strike to the leadoff batter, Toscano. It's Toscano, Cliff, and Peterson, the 3 due up for All Saints here in the top half of the first, and that's a called strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, just right on the outside black there. Got a sliver of the plate and got the call from the official.
So Miller looking to get her first punch out today. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Too high. Toscano does not oblige. I think that's going to be key for All Saints too here today, Jaron. We know Carmen Miller, if she gets ahead in the count like that, she could throw those kind of throwaway pitches to get you chase out of the zone. If All Saints can stay ahead in the count, they'll have better success, I think. 3-2. So a full count to the leadoff batter, Bailey Toscano, for Carmen Miller.
And All Saints, a good program, come in with a record of 11-7. They were 3rd in their district. They just come from a really tough district.
Strike 3. And Carmen Miller had to throw a few extra pitches there, but she eventually gets the punch out for out number 1. And now it's going to bring up the shortstop for All Saints, Jessica Cliff. But you're right, though. They had a tough district that All Saints had to play in, so them being a 3 seed, maybe not a true 3 seed that we, normally see. That's a called strike on the outside corner again by Carmen Miller. So Cliff looking to try to be the first base runner for the Saints. The 0-1 rolls in there. Jaron, it's playoff season, man. I'm excited. This is the best time of the year, I think.
Oh, yeah, and we got a big slate this week of some playoff softball right now with TAPS, and then we've got a lot of
some baseball coming up too, right?
Baseball the end of this week. I know you're going down to the state track meet, right?
I am. I'll be leaving out for Austin tomorrow for the state track meet. It's going to be an exciting day of 3A and 4A action on Thursday, and then 2A and 5A action on Friday. Wraps up with 1A and 6A on Saturday. That's a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Carmen Miller, back-to-back punch-outs to begin this ball game. And Darren, that one looked a little more conventional than the first one.
Oh yeah, that was she did a great job at keeping the batter off balance, like you said. And that third pitch rise ball on the outside corner is pretty deadly. Yeah,
it's not fun if you're a batter. So here's the opposing pitcher now. The All Saints pitcher Heidi Peterson stepping into the box to face Carmen Miller with 2 away here in the top of the first. First pitch just misses on the outside, ball 1.
She's a lefty. She bats from the left side, but also I saw her warming up earlier, and she pitches from the left side.
Okay.
So that's a little interesting.
You don't see a lot of left-handed softball pitchers.
Not a lot.
1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1.
Carmen's velocity is looking really good today.
Yeah. And, you know, similar to that Grace game that when we were here, she was a little erratic early on, kind of missing the zone a little bit, still getting punch outs, but having to really battle. And that's kind of how the first batter went, is that one slips out of her hand, and it's 2-1. But the last batter, Cliff, you know, she got her on just 4 pitches and was working ahead in the count here to Peterson, but now is behind 2 balls and 1 strike. Swung on and missed, strike 2. So Carmen Miller looking to punch out the side here to begin the ball game. That would be a good start for the Lady Guard.
And what's been impressive so far, she's hitting all around the zone. She's hitting spots.
It's not one
really
area.
Well. Yeah.
The 2-2. Got it. Called strike 3. 3 up, 3 down, and 3 punch outs for Carmen Miller. And the Brook Hill Lady Guard send the side down, retired in order. We'll be right back here for the bottom half of the first inning here on NETSN. Welcome back here to Schwab Field, a 0-0 contest here as we head to the bottom half of the first inning between Brook Hill and Fort Worth All Saints. As we get ready for the bottom half of the first inning, let's run through the Brook Hill Lady Guard starting lineup. Batting first and playing catcher, number 12, Blair Brister. Batting second, the shortstop, number 11, Mina Harley. Batting third and pitching, number 6, Carmen Miller. Batting cleanup and playing first base, number 4, Kinsey Licata. Batting fifth and in left field, number 14, Maddie Matheny. The batting sixth, the second baseman, number 1, Miley Booth. Batting seventh at third base, number 13, Allison Matthews. The right fielder, number 21, Colby Winkle, is batting 8th, and Peyton Byers, the designated player, number 9, batting 9th. And in the field for Fort Worth All Saints, in left field, London Brown, the flex player. You have Greer in center field. In right field, you have Dial. Von Ruff is at first, Myers at second, Cliff at short, Barry at third, Bailey Toscano behind the plate. And in the circle is Heidi Peterson for All Saints. Leading things off for the Lady Guard will be Blair Brister. Trying to get things started here. Now, Jaron, you had a perfect first inning, 3 up, 3 down with 3 strikeouts. A leadoff hit here would be the perfect way to lead off this bottom half of the inning.
Yeah, I think, you know, obviously you feel like Carmen's going to have a great afternoon on the mound, but, you know, they want to generate some runs, right?
Yep.
And they're a mid, you know, never put a ton of runs, but they can score them for sure.
Big swing and a miss right there from Blair Brister. She came out of the on-deck circle ready to swing. That's how I always pictured it, though. Jaron, you're going to give me a bat. I'm going to go up there and swing it. I'm going to take my hacks.
Yeah.
No balls and 1 strike. The pitch from Peterson, a lefty in the circle. Yeah, that's a strike 2. And that's the thing, Jaron, with softball. And I know it's the same thing with baseball. You have different rotation and everything. But I feel like it's more difficult on softball especially. It's just a different rotation, a different arm angle. It's just completely throws you off because you don't see a lot of left-handed pitchers in softball. Oh, and Brister helps her out, goes out of the zone, strike 3. So we've seen 4 batters in this game so far, and all 4 have gone down on strikes.
Yeah, it's pretty funky looking coming out of the left-handed pitcher. When you brought it up, I focused in on it and I was like, goodness gracious,
it's different, man.
Yeah, that's weird looking.
It's just not something you see a lot of times, so it's going to be a task for Brook Hill to kind of pick up on that and get some hits together here. But Mina Harley stepping in now with 1 away in the bottom half of the first. That's high, ball 1. And again, that may be the key too, kind of like we talked about with All Saints getting ahead in the count. Brook Hill needs to do the same thing. We've seen what Peterson has. She's got some good stuff on her pitches. So for Brook Hill, make her throw a strike. Don't help her out by swinging it balls out of the zone. 1-0. That one almost hits her in the head, but it's ball 2. That's about to say, that's a way to get on base right there. Hey, we appreciate you tuning in on YouTube. If you're tuned in on the Tuesday afternoon, if you're at work, we apologize, but thank you for watching us. If you're at work, just make sure your boss don't catch you. 2 balls and no strikes.
And share the link.
Yeah, exactly. That one misses 3-0. And let us know where you're watching from. If you're, I know we sent the link to Fort Worth All Saints. So if you're tuned in the Fort Worth area, the DFW Metroplex, then give us a chat. Chat with us in the YouTube comments, and we'll chit-chat with you. Let us know who you're cheering for. And let us know how we're doing. All comments appreciated. Good, bad, and indifferent.
Oh, yeah.
3-0 pitch on the way. Right down Broadway for strike 1.
Probably a good red light on that, though. You know, they're coming in with 3 straight balls.
Yeah.
You know.
You need base runners here early in the game, so if you could have got on there with a 4-pitch walk, Brook Hill would have taken that for sure. 3-1. Ooh, swung on and missed. Looks like Peterson maybe took a little bit off that, and Harley was expecting a fastball and was out in front of it.
Yep, got a little ahead of it.
And that's the negative, right, about letting a meatball pitch go right down on a 3-0, because now all of a sudden you're in a full count, and the pressure's back on. Payoff pitch. High, ball 4. So it's a walk to get things going here for the Lady Guard, as Harley will trot down to first base with 1 away and brings up Carmen Miller, the pitcher for the Lady Guard. She can help herself out here if she can find a gap out there. Harley with good speed at first base. She's got Fat Pat playing for a walk-up song, so it's off to a good start there. Carmen, big hack. She wanted that one and was out in front of it.
I know you rate places by their music.
Yes, yes. Tatum's high up on that list, by the way. They did a real good job. Lindell also has some really good music over there, so can't forget the alma mater. The 0-1. That's a called strike 2. So just like that, Carmen Miller quickly down 0-2 in the count. Harley at first base and 1 away here in the bottom half of the first. Peterson readies herself now for the 0-2 pitch. Miller goes up the ladder, swings and misses, and Carmen is down on 3 pitches, and that's 2 away now here in the bottom half of the first.
That rise ball is pretty deadly.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That is tough. Kenzie Licata is going to come up now, the first baseman for the Lady Guard, with 2 outs and a runner on first, and trying to solve the puzzle that is Heidi Peterson in the circle right now. That one's high, almost hits her in the head, and Harley's going to scoot over to second base. There's a free 60 feet there for the Lady Guard. And that's twice now, Jaron, that we've seen Peterson lose one and go at the head of a Lady Guard batter.
That's the thing about that rise ball. If you don't get your release point right, then
it's going to rise in the wrong direction. 1-0. And that misses, ball 2. And this changes things a little bit now if you're Brook Hill, because now you have a runner in scoring position. A base hit now is capable of scoring that runner from second. 2 balls and no strikes to Licata. Licata pops that one up, which could be trouble with the wind, but it is not. Meyer squeezes it at second base, and the side is retired. So we're through 1 inning here at Schwab Field in Bullard. We're tied at 0. We'll be right back. You're watching high school softball here on NETSN. Welcome back here to Schwab Field. KO Kyle Owens alongside Jaron Peoples. This is the TAPS Division II area round matchup. Brook Hill and Fort Worth all Saints, a 1-game winner take all to see who will advance on to take on Midland Christian in the next round, and it's 0-0 right now. Jaron, I know we're only through 1 inning and we've only seen 7 batters combined, but what are your thoughts so far?
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Both pitchers are looking really good,
Yep.
and I think it's going to really come down to defense in the sense of, does any team give up an error, or is it that just that 1 or 2 solid base hits that can get a run in? Because I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair.
I think runs are going to be at a premium, and I think and this is cliche, but it's going to be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes,
Yep.
right? Like who doesn't make that crucial error at the wrong time? And the question right now is, can All Saints hit Carmen Miller? It's Maggie Meyer, Ava Berry, and AC Hardaway due up for the Saints here in the top half of the second, and that's swung on and missed.
And wind is a factor. I mean, it's blowing pretty good. Yeah. The tree's
tough, man.
Nice tree line out behind center field, and every tree out there is moving and grooving pretty good.
Oh, swung on and missed. Strike 2.
That one had the beach ball effect on it when it came out of her hand, and then it just sailed away, but young lady in the box couldn't lay off of it.
Well, and this is the thing too. We talked about the win. Even that pop up to end that first inning, like that could be it. It looks routine, but with the win the way it is, there's nothing routine about a fly ball here this afternoon.
No.
And if it were me, I would try to hit it in the air to just put the ball in play and see what happens. A 1-2 pitch on the way. That's popped up. Could be trouble. That's what I was talking about, and that's a fair ball.
Yeah.
That's a fair ball. Licata could not get to it, and that's a prime example of the wind. Not a great hit ball. Licata could not get there. The wind just playing tricks on it. That's an infield single for Maggie Meyer.
The ball just went up in the air and just stayed
Died.
put. It just died.
Yeah. It's a tough way to give up your first hit.
Yeah, I mean.
Ava Berry going to step into the box now for the Saints, and this is what we're talking about. Don't make mistakes. If you can strand that runner kind of like All Saints did in the bottom half of that first inning, then that's what you want to do if you're Brook Hill. That one misses for ball 1. That was on cue, wasn't it, with that pop?
It was, I tell you. We queued that up.
Berry swings and misses, and Brister is not afraid to fire it down there to first, so if Meyer better be careful over there.
She's getting a pretty big secondary lead over there.
I'm real surprised Brister didn't throw it down just then, because it looked like she had an opportunity, but again, limiting mistakes. You don't want to throw one into right field. Fouled back out of play. It's strike 2.
I think we may see something off speed here from Miller. She's come at her with a couple of pretty high velocity pitches.
I think a nice off-speed pitch, low and away, trying to get her reaching for it maybe, or she may just come with a high Gouda. We'll see. 1-2. Outside. Swung on and missed. Strike 3.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean,
yeah.
So that's out number 1 here in the top half of the second inning. Maggie Meyer still the runner at first base for the Saints, but it'll bring up the designated player for All Saints, AC Hardaway, with 1 away and a runner on for the Saints. Yes, the All Saints. Called. Strike there, right down the middle.
This official's got a good zone so far. I mean, he's not super picky on the corners. Pretty consistent so far, both sides. And
that's what we want, right?
Yeah.
That's all we ask for is consistency. The 0-1. That's hit towards the left side, and it'll find a hole into left field. That's a 1-out single for AC Hardaway. And the Saints have 2 runners on with just 1 away in the top half of the second inning.
You know, corners are playing up, and so that's what you kind of sacrifice on that is that quick comebacker and not enough time to move your feet and get over there. And so just a well-placed hit ball.
So with 1 out now, it'll bring up the center fielder for All Saints, Aubrey Greer. She has 2 ducks on the pond out there with just 1 away for the Lady Guard. Miller's first pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 1. I think that's what Miller's going to kind of have to do here is maybe she can get a punch out here of Greer, and then when you just got that 1 out, it's a lot easier to get that 1 than risk giving up a hit to score a run. That's fouled off. Probably was going to be a ball, but Greer helps Carmen out.
Yeah, I think a punch out would be key here because it totally changes things right when you got 2 outs and two folks on base pads.
Miller's already ready to go back in the circle. No balls and 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The 5th punch out of the game for Carmen Miller, and it's out number 2 here in the top half of the second.
Now, the winner of this team, like we said, goes on and plays Midland Christian, but then it goes to neutral site.
Okay.
And it,
so after that, they'll be traveling somewhere neutral.
yeah. Oh.
It is pretty cool getting to host a home game, home playoff game. Vivian Dial, the right fielder, stepping in for Fort Worth All Saints with 2 on and 2 outs here in the top of the second. Miller fires that one in. It swung on and missed for strike 1.
And I would imagine somewhere probably in the Fort Worth vicinity would probably be with Midland.
Yeah,
It's
about as neutral as you could get.
Yeah.
DFW area, the 0-1. That's high, but man, Dial goes after it and quickly 0-2. And this is where I feel like you're in the most vulnerable position if you're a batter. Down 0-2 to Carmen Miller. What do you sit on?
Yeah.
I mean, if she comes with the high cheese, you're too late. And if you try to, yeah, it's tough. That's low.
Yeah, she hadn't thrown a lot of that right there. She's been really finding some success in the outside high part of the zone. But
yeah,
I liked how she kind of tried to mix in something different here. But I think we'll see something high.
You want to change the eye level, right? Make it difficult on the batter, and that's what Carmen did there. And goes back to the bread and butter, but misses on the outside corner. I don't even know where to stop it at. Oh, no. Wait. That might help. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So All Saints gets 2 runners on, but Carmen Miller strikes out 3. She's up to 6 already through 2 innings. We're headed through the bottom of the second, still tied at 0 here on NETSN. We are back here at the TAPS Division II Area Round Contest here at Schwab Field on the campus of the Brook Hill School in Bullard. Brook Hill and Fort Worth All Saints tied at 0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. And All Saints had a little something cooking there in the top half of the inning, but Carmen Miller struck out 3 more batters. She's up to 6 already. And due up for the Lady Guard here in the bottom half of the second, you have Maddie Matheny, Miley Booth, and Allison Matthews. The 5, 6, 7 hole hitters due up for the Lady Guard against Heidi Peterson in the circle, who, Jaron, she had a pretty good first inning, did Heidi Peterson. 2 strikeouts and a pop-out.
She did, and again, we maybe have belabored this point a little much, but I think it's a big deal. Her being a lefty, the ball just comes out. You don't see it just a ton, and so it's definitely an adjustment. And, she had a great half inning in the first, and we'll see what she does here at the bottom of the second.
Only base runner she allowed was a walk to Mina Harley, so she didn't allow a hit in that first inning. But Maddie Matheny looking to change that here for the Lady Guard as she steps into the box from the right side against the lefty. Peterson needed the sign redelivered as she rotates her fingers. Here we go now. First pitch on the way to Matheny. And that time, Matheny twitched at it like she wanted to go for it, but laid off, ball 1.
Well, those can have the beach ball effect to them for sure, right? And so it's good discipline there by Matheny.
The high pitches when I was playing baseball were my Achilles heel. I would go after the high ones all the time. That one's way too high and inside, ball 2.
I want to shout out the Brook Hill Guard baseball team. They had a playoff win on yesterday afternoon.
A home win. Again, a home playoff game. Yeah, shout out to the Guard. Defending state champs as well.
Yeah.
2-0 pitch. Called. Strike on the outside corner.
He'll give it to him, I tell you. He doesn't mind calling it on the black there.
I like that, though.
Oh, yeah.
And it's consistent. So far,
Sure.
he's been calling it both sides, so that's all you can ask for. 2-1 pitch on the way from Peterson. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Maddie Matheny. Matheny just a sophomore on this Brook Hill Lady Guard softball team and looking to make a big impact here in this ball game, the 2-2. Dribbles in there, ball 3.
That's the thing about this Brook Hill team is they've only got one senior, and that's Carmen.
Yeah.
Now that's a big, those are big shoes to fill. But they've got the middle school feeder programs, really good young program. They got some pitchers coming in, and be able to have some bench players in the coming years. So I know Coach Springer's excited about it.
Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Heidi Peterson, her third punch out of the afternoon, and it's the first out here in the second inning. And again, it's tough. It's tough for the Brook Hill Lady Guard hitters to pick up on Peterson's balls right now.
Now, I know you don't do this as much with softball in these type of situations, but I know if you got a pitcher show going on in baseball, you try to go to small ball, right?
Oh, yeah.
Try to get something going. I know softball's a little different.
I think it's a little early for that, but yeah, for sure. I think if it's still going this way, 4th or 5th inning, you'll see a little small ball implemented. Miley Booth stepping into the box now with 1 away, and she looks at a strike. You were talking about, the just one senior this year, Jaron, but next year,
yeah,
they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 juniors on this year's team. So 7 seniors on next year's team, and that's that means the year after that. Looking ahead, always looking ahead. That's going to be a lot to replenish.
Right.
But like you said, the middle school feeder program is going to be able to replenish that. Hit right back up the middle, and there's the first base hit of the afternoon for the Lady Guard.
Great timely hit there for Booth, and again that was just a good piece of hitting right across down the middle of the field, and you got a good contact on that ball, and bring up Allison Matthews.
So now we're going to see if the Lady Guard can get anything going with that. Like you said, Allison Matthews, the third baseman, coming up for Brook Hill. And Matthews, one of those juniors that we were talking about, should be one of the senior leaders next season. Miley Booth out there, though, at first base. And that's a called strike to Matthews.
That's a pretty pitch.
So pretty, I think I might have swung at it. But Matthews declined. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off. And quickly, Matthews in an 0-2 hole. And I'll say the same thing about Peterson that I said about Carmen Miller is you're down 0-2. It's what do you sit on? Do you sit on an off speed? Do you sit on something fast? Where are you looking? Because Peterson's kind of been all over the place.
Yeah, and with how Matthews swung at that, she kind of reached. I'd probably do an off speed something here. And she does, but it stays high in the zone.
Yeah, Peterson attempted to go up in the zone, but Matthews watched it go by.
Good discipline there by Matthews.
The 1-2. Ooh, Matthews helped her out there, goes up the zone and swings and misses for the second out of the inning and the 4th punch out of the afternoon for Peterson. Colby Winkle now stepping in for the Lady Guard with 2 away and a runner at first.
You really want to try to get this base runner around because, as we said earlier, base runners are at a premium.
For sure. First pitch to Winkle. Man, everybody's going up in the zone after these pitches. Which, I did the same thing. It's not like it must be the way, she's throwing the ball. It's given the illusion that it's going to be in the zone, then it just elevates out, and it's fooling these Brook Hill hitters. And then you go back with the speed down low. I mean, it's tough to sit on anything.
Well, and that's what makes the rise ball, a good rise ball, such a hard pitch, right? Is it comes out and looks like it's coming out at, at a belt high length, and then it just sails on you. And
it keeps going. Yeah. You think it's going to stop somewhere, and it just keeps rising and rising. 1-2. Or 1-1, excuse me. That goes off the glove of the catcher, and it'll advance Miley Booth over to second base. So there's a free 60 feet right there for the Lady Guard.
So runner in scoring position now for the Lady Guard.
With 2 balls and 1 strike here. We'll see what the Lady Guard can do. They had Mina Harley in scoring position in the first and could not bring her around to score. Here's the 2-1. That's chopped slowly down to third base, picked up by Barry, fired across, and that is a 5-3 put out for out number 3. So we're through 2 innings here at Schwab Field in Bullard, and we are still tied at 0. We'll be right back. You're watching NETSN. All right, welcome back. The third inning about to get underway here between Fort Worth All Saints and the Brook Hill Lady Guard. And at the top of the third, we got the 9-1-2 due up for the Saints. It's Lily Von Ruff leading things off. And there's your small ball you were talking about, Jaron. And it squares around the bunt and misses it, and it's strike one. Carmen Miller has struck out 6 of the 8 batters that she has faced this afternoon. She's also given up 2 singles back in that second inning, but 6 out of 8 punched out, Jaron. That's a pretty good start. Here's the 0-1. And that's fouled out of play. Strike 2. So you got Von Ruff, Toscano, and Cliff. Like I said, the 9-1-2 due up here for the Saints in the third inning. The 0-2, outside, ball 1. I think Pops is tuned in watching it work, so shout out to Pops. He was admiring the camera angles. He liked the cameras that we got set up, so shout out to Pops. The 1-2, outside, 2-2. I was telling Jaron when we showed the outfield cameras, oh, it looks like an ESPN broadcast. We got ESPN out here. No, it's just NETSN. Just as good, though.
Just as good.
The East Texas ESPN.
That's right. I know it's a little bouncy in the outfield just because the wind is hopping. There we go.
There's another punch out. Make that 7 Ks the first time through the lineup for Carmen Miller. And that is actually her 3rd punch out in a row. And it's going to bring up the top of the order for the Saints. It's Bailey Toscano. She worked a full count first time up, but ended up striking out swinging, as 6 other batters did through the lineup.
Chat with us, like KO said. If you haven't subscribed, then I'll let you chat. I'd like to know who you're cheering for, where you're cheering from. Just good for us to know.
And if you're a basketball fan, you can go back and watch the Azalea Orthopedic All-Star games from this past Saturday. That was a good time.
That was a really good time.
Had a strike.
2 Brook Hill representatives. Neither were able to play due to various reasons, but they were named to the team. Emma Hill and Beck Langmeyer.
Hi. Brenna
Hill, sorry.
It was a very good game, though. The games were highly competitive and lots of good talent out there. 2-1. Swung on and missed. So, yeah, if you're a basketball fan, go back and check it out. Had a dunk contest and a 3-point shootout in between the games. And J.J. Garner, you may have heard of him from Timpson. He won the dunk contest.
I probably went back and watched that dunk about 17 times. It is so sweet.
It was sweet. 2-2. Another one called. Strike 3. Carmen Miller with the high cheese, high and inside. And Toscano didn't like the call. She looked down at her third base coach and said, what are we doing here? But that's 4 punch-outs in a row, 8 total for Carmen Miller. And so here comes Jessica Cliff.
I think a piece of that lace got the very part of the top of the zone there, and I like it.
That was nasty. Ball. Carmen Miller is a strikeout machine.
Oh, yeah.
She is ridiculous. I don't remember. I got it in my book here. I got to go back and look. My gosh. Swung on a miss, strike 1. But she had an insane amount of strikeouts. Again, that Grace game when she threw that perfect game.
It was
I want to say
14
to 15,
yeah.
I think. 1-1. Maybe that was a makeup call. There's 2 and 1. Yeah, let's see here.
That was a game that she eclipsed her 700 career
Yes.
strikeouts.
Yes. Yeah. That swung on and missed. Strike 2, and Carmen looking to strike out the side for the second time this game. As the crowd's starting to fill up here, as the schools are letting out and kids are coming over to support the girls. Here's the 2-2. Inside corner, called strike 3. 3 up, 3 down, 3 punch-outs again, and Carmen Miller is cooking. She's got 9 Ks through 3 innings, and we will be right back here for the bottom of the 3rd inning, 0-0 here on NETSN. Good little midweek afternoon playoff game here at Schwab Field on the campus of the Brook Hill School in Bullard. The TAPS Division II area round game between Fort Worth All Saints and the Brook Hill Lady Guard, and we're tied at 0, but the story's been the pitching, Jaron. I mean, Carmen Miller has 9 punch-outs already, and Heidi Peterson has only 4 punch-outs, but is equally as impressive. She's just allowed just 1 hit and 2 base runners. So the great pitching matchup early on.
Yeah, it's like we said earlier, you know, it's which team can minimize errors and really maximize base runners. You know, we've said several times base runners are at a premium this game, and so I think whatever you can do to get runners to advance is what you need to do, because it's going to be hard to come by them.
Yes, it will, and we are getting ready for the bottom of the 3rd. Due up for the Brook Hill Lady Guards, the 9-1-2, Peyton Byers, Blair Brister, and Mina Harley. And you were talking about it off air before we came on. I think it's a good idea here, Jaron, to maybe play a little small ball here. Byers with great speed. If she can lay down a bunt, get a base runner here at your 9-hole, you got the top of the order coming up. Maybe you can get something going here in this 3rd inning.
Yeah, Peyton, newer to the game of softball,
yes,
but very athletic, and
she looks at a strike from Heidi Peterson on the outside corner, and Peterson's been dealing too. I don't want it to get overshadowed. Carmen Miller is pitching a phenomenal game for sure, but Heidi Peterson is dealing as well.
Yeah, just 2 quality pitchers, right? And
Byers pops that one up. Remember, the wind could be trouble, but Peterson gonna do it herself in the circle and squeezes it for out number 1.
Again, Peyton has a speed. She was at first before the ball even came down. But, again, just made a good play on it.
Well, like I said, maybe 5th, 6th inning we'll see a little. In that situation, maybe if the score is the same, maybe we see a little bunt laid down there. But swinging away the first time through the lineup. But here we are back to the top of the order with Blair Brister leading things off, or coming up here with 1 away.
Now, she's got a good stick. She can hit the ball, and so I think You've seen the pitcher once, right? We've gone through the lineup.
Well,
so.
and she struck out her first time up, but if you remember, she was chasing pitches out of the zone. So maybe watch a couple here and see. Well, there's one fires a strike. So that kind of blows the theory out of the water, right? When you watch the first one for a strike. So see what Blair can do here with one out, bottom of the third inning. Peterson, the 0-1. Ball.
And the catcher here for All Saints, she's let some balls get away. So, again, I think it's if you can get base runners on, those are the opportunities that you're looking for to advance your runners.
Yeah, we just haven't had a lot of opportunities, right? There's been 4 total base runners, 2 for each team. So not a lot of opportunities on either side. 1-1. Ball 2. But you're absolutely right. I think that's going to add more pressure, right? Once you get base runners on, then it adds a little pressure. Right now, both pitchers are dealing with kind of zero pressure. There's not really any base runners.
Big gap in left center field.
Huge. 2-1. 3-1. In a game this tight, you'll take free base runners if you can get them.
Now, this is going to be interesting for Brister. Is this a red light, green light situation?
I think I would say red light. I think get it to a full count before you swing. That would be me personally because you need base runners. But that's tipped, and now here's that full count situation. So now you're swinging, well, not regardless, but if it's close.
And I don't know if that ball, I don't know. It was bottom part of the zone. Probably would have been a called strike. But.
Payoff pitch on the way from Heidi Peterson to Blair Brister. And swung on, tipped, and caught for strike 3. So that is 2 away now here in the third inning, and Brister down on strikes for the second time this afternoon. And with 2 outs, it'll bring up Mina Harley, who walked and was stranded at second base back in the first inning.
Again, she's one with speed, so you'd like to get her on the base pads, especially with Carmen coming up. And
we'll see what Peterson does to Harley here. First pitch. Inside. Called strike. I was about to say inside corner, called strike.
Yeah, again, that's where he's kind of been all night, all afternoon. I mean, he's called them.
It's been there, and that's where Carmen got 2 of those punch outs in the top half of the inning. Were on that inside corner like that. So consistency is what we love. The 0-1. Outside, ball 1.
Now Pearson is getting a little deeper in counts than she was the first couple of innings. So
yeah, she worked a full count or had to pitch to a full count there that last inning or last batter. Last inning she had a full count as well, but she has been throwing a little more pitches. That one's ripped towards center field, going back, and it's going to bounce off the wall. Harley rounding first, and she's into second with a 2-out double.
And again, having her in scoring position is a big deal, and with speeds and one of your better hitters coming up. And again, if you can get her to third base, that really increases your opportunities to get her across the plate.
I'll tell you, Harley got a hold of that one. That was a good hit and ripped it over of Greer's head in center field. Bounced off the bottom of that wall, and now, like you said, scoring position there at second base with Carmen Miller coming up to bat. Miller struck out swinging her first time up, but really helped Peterson out. She went out some pitches outside of the zone there, too. So the first pitch here to Carmen Miller. Big swing and a miss, strike 1.
Man, she was swinging.
Wanted it.
she was swinging for the treetops on that one.
Yeah, she was trying to put that in the tennis courts over there. I think tennis court number 6, maybe. And no balls and 1 strike here to Carmen.
It was a great cut. I mean,
yeah. That one rolls and it gets past the catcher, and there's Harley at third base. So there's your point, Jaron. Now, Harley just 60 feet away from bringing in the first run of the game. Now a pass ball here could break the game open.
It could. Now, it's a pretty close backstop here. Not a lot of room, for coming home on it, right? So,
right. It would have to bounce.
Yeah.
To either first or third base. I don't think if it goes directly behind, it may be in trouble. But Harley's got good speed. You never know. 1-1. Miller flies that one to right side, out of play. But now there's 2 strikes here on Carmen Miller, and Heidi Peterson could get out of this inning without allowing a run. This is the closest anybody's got tonight. First time anyone's touched third base.
I thought that ball was taking a picnic up in the air. It took forever for it to come down. I thought one of the All Saints players was going to get under it because it was just taking so long. But
It did. I thought it was going to go out of play, but it landed in foul territory inside the fence, though. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Peterson. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And Brook Hill will strand a runner just 60 feet away at third base, and we are headed to the 4th inning of this area round matchup, still tied at 0. Be right back here on NETSN. Top of the 4th inning, about to get underway here at Schwab Field in Bullard. Brook Hill and Fort Worth All Saints still tied at 0 in this pitcher's duel in this TAPS Division II area round matchup. Due up here in the top half of the 4th inning for All Saints, it's the 3, 4, and 5 of Heidi Peterson, Maggie Meyer, and Ava Berry. Peterson, the opposing pitcher, struck out looking her first time up, and Carmen Miller has been dealing. She has allowed no runs, 2 hits, and struck out 9. All of her outs have been by strikeouts this afternoon.
And again, something good pitch here. A little different with TAPS is these are 1-game series, right? Or just 1-game playoffs, and so
I love that.
yeah,
I love a 1-game playoff.
Yeah, and especially if you have a matchup where it may be fairly lopsided, I think that 1 game is definitely in the favor of the lower seeded team.
So I got in trouble one year on the radio because I said, oh wait, the 0-2. Oh, that's outside. I said that anybody can get lucky and win a 1-game playoff. What I shouldn't have said is the word lucky. That's not what I meant. But what you just said is exactly my point that I was trying to make, is that, yes, if you're a lesser opponent, then you think, okay, maybe we can get them once. We can't beat them twice, but maybe we can get them once. Oh, that one might blow back in. Nope.
Well, I've got a friend that's a high school baseball coach I've gotten to know, and he'll say, you know, he's as I followed him on some of his playoff runs, is he's like, I'm going to try to go. If I know that we're maybe the lesser team, I'm going to try to flip for the 1 game.
Exactly.
I'm gonna try to get it.
Exactly, and that's what I tried to say, but people didn't take that well. But yeah, I love the intensity of a 1-game playoff. Every pitch matters in a 1-game playoff. And speaking of pitches, that's number 10 for Carmen Miller as she punches out Heidi Peterson for the first out of this 4th inning.
And again, I said it earlier, but she's hitting her spot so well. You can just tell it. She's getting the batters to chase when she wants them to chase. She's painting the corners really well. Most things have been at the top of the zone, but she's starting to find some success in the bottom part of the zone as well. So it's a great job by Miller today.
Well, the first person to get a hit off Carmen Miller this afternoon was Maggie Meyer, who steps into the box. And she hit about a 20-foot pop-up to get on first base. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. I was making the joke with you during break. My score sheet looks like a binary code for computers, just a bunch of 0s and 1s. There's a couple of 2s in there. 1-1. Inside corner, called. Strike 2. Yes, sir. That's consistent. Again, he has been calling that corner all afternoon long, and it's continuing. 1-2. A little too much there.
Yeah, but that was not a bad idea at all. That was an off-speed pitch that really died as it approached the plate. Just maybe a hair inside, but I'm surprised she was able to lay off of that because it looked pretty fat.
2-2. That's dribbled down the third base line, and that's going to be another infield single for Maggie Meyer. Matthews, that's a slow dribbler, and Matthews came up to play it, but Meyer, with good speed, is going to be on base for the 2nd time this afternoon.
Do you think that one would have rolled foul?
I would have liked to see it at least try instead of her picking it up there, but because as slow as it was going, you weren't going to get her at first base.
Yeah.
So I think at that point, just let it see if it'll go foul. But Ava Berry now stepping in. Swung on and missed. Strike one. Throw down to first. Yeah. There it is. And that's what we said last time when Meyer was at first, that Brister thought about throwing down but never did. That time she pulled the trigger.
Keep her honest out there.
No balls, one strike to Berry. Called strike, throw down to first. She's back. Well, and it's kind of getting later in the game now, right? Like you look up at the scoreboard, we're already halfway through this game. So now, if you can pick her off at first base and get out of this inning, you would do it. The 0-2. Inside. That had some interesting movement on it. It almost looked like you know how a two-seam does, how it cuts back in? That's how that pitch looked. It looked like it cut back in. Maybe a little screwball action. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Strike three. Make that 11 punch-outs this afternoon for Carmen Miller.
She just went right at her. I mean, she put that one, she said, I dare you to hit it.
She said, I'm not going to finesse this one. We're just going to power move it.
Yeah, she did.
AC Hardaway stepping in. She also had a single in the second inning. Ripped one right through the third base and shortstop hole there. Swung on and missed. A throwdown hits the runner as she's diving back in. Yeah, it might be a blessing that it hit her, because if not, that ball's rolling into right field. Now, granted, you have a right fielder out there in Winkle that's backing her up, but still. And everything's okay. Meyer's good at first base. We'd love to see it.
I keep trying to go back to this outfield camera, but it's like we're on a big ship in the ocean. The wind, so.
0-1 is a called strike two. That looked like it was a little high, but he's been also calling the top of that zone.
He called it a while ago, right? That one that we saw earlier.
Could we see number 12 here? The 0-2. And it gets off the glove of Brister, and she did not go. So it's just going to be a ball and a stolen base there by Maggie Meyer. So Meyer now in scoring position. This is the furthest that All Saints has had a base runner. Meyer got to second base in the second inning. Here's the 1-2 from Miller. Called strike three, and there's number 12. 12 punch-outs this afternoon for Carmen Miller. We are headed to the bottom half of the fourth inning, still tied at 0 here on NETSN. Bottom of the fourth inning in this pitcher's duel at Schwab Field in Bullard on the campus of the Brook Hills School. Brook Hill and Fort Worth All Saints tied at 0 in this TAPS Division II area round matchup. Carmen Miller dealing for Brook Hill. Heidi Peterson dealing for Fort Worth All Saints. Got ourselves a pitcher's duel here, tied at 0. 3 hits for All Saints, 2 hits for Brook Hill. And due up for the Lady Guard, it's the 4, 5, and 6 of Kinsey Licata, Maddie Matheny, and Miley Booth. And Licata swings and misses for strike 1.
Big swing to start things off here for Licata, and again, good swing, but just went over the ball.
Starting to get a little late in this ball game, too.
This game's humming along, though.
Don't say that, Jaron.
Oh, yeah, I jinxed it. I did the broadcast jinx.
We're going to act like you didn't say that.
You know, I've been doing this long enough to
Maybe an ad played on our feed, and nobody heard you say that. 1-1. Swing and a miss. My watch just told me to stand, Jaron, so I guess I've been sitting
guess
too
you
long.
better do it, yeah.
Good thing I got this clipboard.
1-2 count here.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Licata. Peterson off speed, gets her swinging, throw down to first to complete the strikeout. And that is the first out, and Peterson begins this inning the same way she ended the last one, and that's with a punch out.
Now, I'll plan to be back here on the campus of Brook Hill Friday. Brook Hill's always good about hosting playoff games, and so Tatum and Mineola will be going at it.
It's a juicy little matchup there.
So I'll plan to be here Friday and Saturday for that. Of course, with public school playoffs, it goes to NFHS. So
yeah. Well, you know, we could do a game on. It would just, you know, involve some.
Takes a few dollars.
Yeah. Involves some funds there. Maddie Matheny stepping into the box now for Brook Hill. She struck out swinging on a full count her first time up in the second inning. 81 degrees on a partly cloudy Tuesday afternoon as we near 3 o'clock. The 0-1. Swung on and missed. Hey, if you're sitting in the pickup line at your school waiting to pick up your kids, you could put on the game as you're sitting there waiting in line. You don't have to listen to no music. You can actually watch a good old softball game, playoff softball game.
And chat with us if you haven't already. All you got to do is hit subscribe if you.
Strike 3. Peterson, another punch out. 2 up, 2 down, 2 Ks for Heidi Peterson here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And Jaron, this is kind of the meat and potatoes of the lineup, the 4, 5, and 6. And back-to-back Ks.
Now, Booth had a good hit last time up, so. Or was it Booth? No, that
it was Booth.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, Booth got the hit last time and ended up at second base.
Yeah.
That's 8 punch-outs now tonight, or this afternoon, for Heidi Peterson. So 12 for Carmen Miller and 8 for Heidi Peterson. 20 combined punch-outs between the two pitchers. And if I could do even quicker math there, you could go 4, at least 12 batters for them. 9. So you're looking at probably 20 of like 24, 25 batters have been struck out. Outs recorded have been strikeouts. Anyway.
Math is hard.
Yeah, I don't even know why. I just tried to do that. That's hit towards the left side and through. It's a base hit for Miley Booth. She rounds the corner wide over there at first. A 2-out single for Miley Booth, her second hit of the afternoon.
So Booth finding some success against Peterson. I think she gives some tips and tricks to the
to the rest of the team.
The rest of the team.
The only other person with a hit today has been Mina Harley for Brook Hill. Allison Matthews coming up, though. She struck out swinging her first time up, but she has an opportunity here to help the Lady Guard out and get them on the board. It kind of feels like one run would be good enough, but I know you want more in insurance and all that, but it kind of feels like the first 1-1 wins.
And they keep getting these base runners with 2 outs, though.
Yeah. But we've seen plenty of 2-out rallies. What was it, the Tatum and White Oak baseball game we did the other day that had a big 2-out rally?
Yeah.
That was a fun one, too. The 0-1. Tie ball one. And if you're watching us on YouTube, on the NETSN YouTube channel, you can go back and watch that game as well. The Tatum-White Oak game in White Oak a couple weeks ago was a fantastic baseball game. But all of our past streams are on there, previous Brook Hill games as well. So check out the channel. The 1-1.
We've had some great broadcasts this spring season.
I haven't done as many as I'd like to have done due to, you know, the other job.
Yeah.
But the ones I have done have been good ones.
Yeah, you've done some good ones, yeah.
Like this one, a 2 balls and 1 strike. Matthews, swing and a miss, throw down to first, but Booth is back. Matthews, 2-2 count.
Deuce is wild here with 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
We'll see what Matthews can do against Heidi Peterson. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The 9th punch out of the afternoon for Peterson. We are through 4 innings of play here in Brook Hill, and the score just where we started, 0-0. We'll be right back on NETSN.
Welcome back, folks. Jaron Peoples, and with me right now is the coach, Jeremy Hubbard. What's up, Coach?
The coach, huh?
The coach, Jeremy
We'll
Hubbard.
go with that. I like the way that sounds. I prefer it when Kyle says it, though.
Oh, yeah?
Or Brett.
What? Come on.
No, I mean, like, they have to say that with great reverence to me. That's what I mean.
Oh,
like,
okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. I got you. But, yeah, so Brett's watching. KO had to go handle some things real quick, and so got a pitcher's duel here. Coach, I don't know if you've been keeping up with the game or not, but both pitchers really having a great afternoon so far.
I actually was watching a little bit. Had some dead time and to go to a different campus. Got to watch a little bit. Yeah, great pitcher's duel.
Strike from Carmen Miller there. Swing and a miss. What Carmen's really done well today, she's hitting her spots really well. She's putting everything on the outside. She's going top and the bottom real well. So she's done really good at had really good command so far, it seems like. And
Yeah, man, she's so good. And it's not just the speed, it's all of it.
fouls that one away, of course. Obviously, she's part of your Lady Guard basketball team as well. And congratulations on a big run. I don't know if I've talked to you since then, but y'all had a great deep run, furthest in team history, right?
Yeah, and you know it says a lot. I was looking back at some other things on some social media. Just the way our girls programs in general have gone over the last couple of years has been great. And softball winning last year, and us getting to make a little run. It says a lot about these kids. Number one, and the group of parents.
Oh, absolutely. I talked to a coach the other day, and they said, well, it was at the All-Star game. One of the coaches we were talking to, I think Coach Jenkins from Martins Mill, maybe, and he said, the quality parents really can make a difference in the program, and so.
Yeah. Well, they just put the time in. Another strikeout. I'm looking at KOs. I'm keeping stats for KO all of a sudden. I didn't realize that 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12 strikeout in the game. Wow.
Well, I think she might be at 13. I think she was at 12, maybe.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so.
sorry. KO can't. He didn't write very clearly. So, yeah, I kept stats for you, KO. And
All right, hey, 13 punch outs now for Carmen Miller. Look at that, coming right in, knew what I was talking about. Duard. Up next now is Vivian Dial. She takes strike one, or swings at strike one, I should say.
if they're going to chase that KO, it's going to be easy to get some more strikeouts, by the way.
Yeah, Coach, Carmen's dealing.
No, that's what she does, right? I mean, she is. There's a reason why she's had the numbers and had the success she's had, for sure.
She is, all of her outs today have been strikeouts. There's not been one out that a fielder other than Carmen Miller has made.
Multiple 15 to 20 strikeout games this year for her. Not a surprise.
Well, and me and Jaron brought up a good point, too. Like, she didn't get to play a lot of games because of basketball and all that. So for the amount of strikeouts that she's garnered in her career with the less amount of games is amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure. When you talk about just the numbers, is what, 14?
Yeah, that's 14.
You know, the good news for her, the reason why she's able to come in and fire away the way she is even at the end of basketball season, she's playing some tournaments on the weekends and doing some different things. And so she's getting her pitches in. She comes into the season and she's ready to go, right? But yeah, just the straight high school numbers that she has, it's unbelievable for the number of games they play.
Well, Lily Von Ruff steps in and swings a pool noodle.
I mean, I don't know. When you're facing somebody like Carmen, is it almost just like, let me just take my 3 swings and go back to the dugout?
It's
I don't
tough,
know.
man. That's what we've been talking about this whole time. Is that's an outside corner called strike 2. Like, when you get down 0-2 to Carmen Miller, what do you do? Because she has so much in her arsenal that she can throw at you. There's nothing you can sit on.
Well, for somebody that throws 65, you're hoping she hits you, I guess, and get on base. I don't know. Yeah, you're 0-2. You're in a bind.
And that's a swing that you're going to get. Strike 3. 15 strikeouts for Carmen Miller. But we're headed to the bottom of the 5th in a scoreless tie because Heidi Peterson is matching her in the circle. We'll be right back here on NETSN. Welcome back to Schwab Field here on the campus of the Brook Hill School here in Bullard.
You said it wrong, KO. It's welcome to Schwab Field on the Brook Hill campus.
I said that to begin the game.
All right, we're good then.
You can go back and watch the tape.
I feel obligated to say that every time.
I said the beautiful campus here on the Brook Hill Schools. I said it all. Go back and watch it.
We could go play pickleball when we're done if you want to. Well, not really. I got somewhere to be tonight.
Well, I'm not playing. I'm not doing anything athletic after this. So that's all on you. Do it for Brook Hill. It's 8-9-1. Colby Winkle leading things off as she pops that one up. Out of play foul for strike 1. It's Winkle, Byers, and Brister. And Jaron, we were talking about this earlier. It's that time. It's time. I think now you start playing a little small ball and just generating base runners.
Yeah, and again, we've seen that there may be some vulnerability there with pass balls, and so you just got to get them on the base paths, take advantage of that. And
you're running out of time here in regulation, I should say.
Yeah, unless you go extras, you got one more time through the batting order. There you go.
There's popped up to right field. Could be trouble with the wind, and it's going to drop in front of Dial in right field. And there's a leadoff base runner for the Brook Hill Lady Guard. First time this afternoon the Lady Guard have led off an inning with a base runner.
Hope they're not watching this in the dugout, but I bet you're about to see a bunt and a steal here.
I would, yes, absolutely.
And Peyton Byers, you may have seen her. I don't know what she's done today.
fast.
She is so stinking fast, man.
First year playing softball.
She played when she was younger.
Okay.
But however, she's going to went to the regional track meet and the relay team. I mean, she's a speedster.
Yeah, I expect a bunt.
Well, we thought she might do it earlier just to try to generate something, and she didn't. So this may be the.
This is the spot. She squares around, and it's a called strike. So that's the problem, though.
But here's the thing, and Coach Springer's big on this too. Like, it's a sacrifice situation. Don't wait. Just go.
Right.
I mean, go ahead and show them. Like, you're fine with that. Like, it doesn't help them any.
Yeah, that's true. The only thing I would argue there is that if that third baseman comes up, they can throw it to second.
Look
and
at
get
where she's playing. I mean, she's already up there.
That's true. And that's popped up, and now
that's the one thing you can't do.
Yeah, now we're in trouble with an 0-2 count, and now you got to swing away. You can't try to rely on a bunt here. So now you got to swing away.
Well,
this is the best opportunity that Brook Hill's had all afternoon with getting a leadoff base runner. You don't want to squander it away.
Yeah, and you got Brister and Harley. Harley's hitting dang near 1,000 over the last 2 months. I mean,
and she's been on base twice. Her and Booth have been the only two people to get on base twice for Brook Hill.
She had a big lick earlier.
Yeah, hit one to the wall. The 0-2. Oh, hits one short, and that gets through. It's going to be a base hit for Byers, and Brook Hill's in business now with back-to-back singles.
That was a good, hard hit.
And the pressure, right? Down 0-2 in the count. You fouled off 2 bunts right there. Down 0-2 in the count, and you still lace a single to the left side. Now you got 2 runners on in the top of the order. Blair Brister stepping into the box.
Yeah, and that's where those bunt attempts can help you, too, because you're having to focus in on your coordination there, and I think that helped.
I almost bet you see another one here.
You think?
I bet. I just, why not? You got the hottest hitter in the world coming up next.
Yeah.
If you can get him to second and third, you have 2-0 lead. She gets a hit. So
you should be a coach.
No, I shouldn't. Had a lot of hours in this, KO.
Here's the first pitch from Peterson. And you were right, Coach. She does square around, pulls it back, though, and it's called ball.
I spent a couple years coaching with Coach Springer as his assistant, and so I know the way he thinks, and he's looking at mean on deck, and let's get 2 runs.
Well, and the way the game's played out, right? Like, it's been that type of game where 1 run could win it for you, so you need to generate that 1 run however you can. 2 runners on, nobody out, top of the order. Blair Brister, best opportunity the Lady Guard have had all afternoon. And the 1-0. Squaring around, pulls it back off the catcher, and that's going to advance both runners.
Yeah, now you don't have to do it. Now you can let her swing.
Exactly. Now Brister can swing away with 2 in scoring position. And, Jaron, this is the first time tonight that we've seen Peterson in a little bit of trouble in the circle.
Yeah, interesting to see how she'll bounce back from that. You know, some pitchers dial in, some pitchers kind of unravel, so we'll kind of get a taste of that with Peterson here.
Did she just switch sides?
Yeah.
At the plate? Okay.
She's normally a right-hand hitter.
But she was on the left-hand side, right?
Yeah, because of the bunt attempt. She was trying to slap.
Right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure my eyes weren't deceiving me. I wasn't tripping.
You didn't do that when you were playing, Cal?
No. Oh, Brister goes up the ladder. And that's one thing that the Brook Hill hitters have been doing this afternoon is helping Peterson out by going up the ladder at those pitches out of the zone.
And, Coach, she's a left-handed pitcher, as you can see, which you don't see a whole lot of them in softball, so her release has been a little hard to track.
Yeah, your eyes are different. I mean, it's
tough.
It makes it tough.
Especially in a 1 game that you only get to see her maybe 3 times. That's high. She lays off of it. So now a 3-1 count. And to your point, Coach, like you were saying, you got the hottest hitter in the world right now on deck.
2-2.
Is it 2-2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. No.
Unless Coach Cox is wrong over here on the scoreboard,
which is
wouldn't surprise me.
Highly possible there. Highly possible.
Yeah, those Aggies.
Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
I thought it was, well, maybe he'll show it here.
I think I have 2 and 2 as well. So.
She found one off, and then.
Yeah.
All right. 2-2 then. Takes away a little bit of the pressure I was trying to go with there, guys, but that's all right.
Just shifts it.
That's fouled out of play. 2 and 2 still. As Brister battling here. The point remains the same, though. Peterson, you don't want to lose Brister if you're Peterson and load up the bases for Harley. That would be less than ideal if you are Fort Worth All Saints.
Yeah, you almost have to get an out here if you're her.
Yeah, no outs is a big opportunity for the guard.
That's fouled off. Another good at-bat by Brister. Again, Brister's 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs here this afternoon. The first one was not a very good at-bat. The second one went to a full count. She battled, but this one she's battling again.
When you got thinking, when you flip her around and let her try to bunt, I mean, it changes the at-bat for sure.
So a 2-2 once again from Peterson. Called strike 3.
That's a good pitch. That's just a good pitch.
And that is the first out. Now Brister wears the hat trick for this afternoon, but in steps Mina Harley. Now let me ask you this, Jaron, and I know it sounds crazy. Would you walk Harley to load up the bases for Carmen Miller? I understand it's Carmen Miller, but she's 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs today.
Yeah, I don't know that I would.
This is the hottest hitter, the only one that's hurt you really today. I would think about it.
The only advantage is you can pull your infield in. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't pull them in, she hits it over your head, it's 2 or 3 runs anyway. You know, so.
First pitch swinging, she fouls it out of play behind us for the first strike. I know it's unconventional, but I think the way that this game has been, the next people in the lineup, you've struck them out 5 out of the 6 times they've been up. You haven't gotten Harley out.
It's interesting. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, they're pitching to her, so.
Man, I think with 2 outs, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you got to have confidence in your pitcher. I mean, she's done well. 0-0 game.
For sure, but not against Harley.
Yeah.
And that one is a good stop behind the plate by Toscano.
Could be one of those unintentional intentional walks, too. Like,
Yeah.
do not throw anything over the plate.
Yeah.
Don't give her anything to hit.
Yeah, make her chase. And,
Something I would think about, but it's irrelevant now because they're pitching to her. 1 ball and 1 strike to Harley with 2 on and 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. That is a called strike 2. That's been consistent, though, all afternoon. He's had the top of the zone all night.
he's got one of the bigger zones I've seen all season.
Jaron, I trust you to think about these things. Look at his stance, too. He's so high in his stance, he's going to call high pitches. You got to look at those things.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's the commentary you don't get everywhere else.
That's right.
Only on NETSN.
That's right.
1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3.
Wow.
That is a big punch out by Heidi Peterson for the 2nd out of the inning. And now in steps Carmen Miller, who this is poetic justice for Carmen. She has pitched a well of a game on the defensive side. If she could just put one out into the outfield here, she scores a run, probably 2.
I think if you hit one up the middle on the ground, even to the second shortstop, it's going to be a run.
If it touches grass, I think it's scoring 2 runs. But Miller's 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs this afternoon, and she swings and misses at the first one. And on the flip side of this, Jaron, if Fort Worth All Saints can tightrope out of this, that's a ton of momentum for the Saints going into the 6th inning.
Because base runners have been at an ultimate premium this whole game for both teams.
No balls and 1 strike to Carmen Miller. High and inside, ball 1.
And Miller's been real aggressive at the plate. I mean, she had some big swings.
She has. She struck out on 3 pitches her first time up, worked a 1-2 count her 2nd time, and is in a 1-1 count right here. Peterson delivers. Miller hits that one to right field. Coming up is Dial, and she squeezes it for out number 3. So Brook Hill gets the first 2 base runners to 2nd and 3rd base, but cannot capitalize. And we will head to the 6th inning of play, still tied at 0 here on NETSN. Top of the 6th inning here. We're still tied at 0 in this TAPS 2A Division II area round matchup. And Brook Hill and All Saints tied at 0, and due up for All Saints, we got the top of the order, Toscano, Cliff, and Peterson against Carmen Miller with 15 punch-outs so far this afternoon, and counting, I should say.
Yeah, I bet she's not done.
No.
We'll see if momentum does shift here, but Brook Hill stranding 2, but Miller coming out. She's just not letting it affect her. She's still dealing.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
I guess Coach Springer's not worried about us not scoring because they're not going to.
That's the thing. Like it's a big momentum shift, but is it really when you got Carmen Miller with her 16th punch out? And I don't even know. This is 6 in a row that she has done. 6 punch outs in a row.
I mean, she's making them sword fight, right? I mean, just where she's placing the ball and
it's not even good swing.
Yeah, KO said it best. They're sword fighting with a pool noodle. I mean,
it is. It's not great.
Taking a water gun to a sword fight.
Jessica Cliff steps in, and
He called
that's
it.
a called strike on the inside corner. I mean, I've never. I don't know if I've seen a 7-inning game. I've seen a 5-inning game where a pitcher struck out every batter, but I don't think I've seen a full 7-inning game where that's happened.
Watch Carmen do multiple 20 strikeouts. I don't know if she's had a 21. I'm sure she has, but most times if you're striking that many out, you may be a shortened game anyway. But
yeah, that's a good point. It's a very good point.
Well, that one that we did was she did 14 out of
15, yeah. The 0-2 looking for John Cena's number 17, and she gets it. Hey, yo.
Well, and she didn't see it either, so.
Oh, man, that was good.
Oh,
that one was teed up for me. I thought of it just as I was like, oh, this is 17.
It was.
John Cena.
It was. That's good.
You're
I
right, though.
It. I liked it.
Nobody's been able to see Carmen Miller tonight.
You cannot see it. It's what the ball said. You can't see me.
Heidi Peterson stepping in, looking to get something. She stalled that one off foul. But this is the problem, right? Like if it's Carmen Miller has struck out 17, but there's still a goose egg on the board for the Lady Guard as well. So can't win if you don't score any runs.
Makes it tough.
The 0-1. Swung on and missed, and we're looking for number 18 here.
Again, how she's throwing the ball, it just looks like a beach ball coming across. And
a beach ball that nobody can touch. And
we're going to score this one like 1980s football. Most penetration. Most people to second base wins.
That is wild, man.
We had 3 second base. You win. That's good.
This is not a called strike 3.
He's been calling that, though. That's the interesting part. He's hadn't been ashamed of that zone or that edge of the plate there, that corner.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And Carmen to a full count now. Peterson, to her credit, laid off all these pitches, and it's now back to a full count.
3-hole hitter, probably their best hitter. She's a pitcher, too, so she knows what to see out of the hand. I mean,
here's payoff pitch. Called strike 3. Number 18 of the game and number 8 in a row for Carmen Miller. What a pitching performance here in the area round. We're through 5.5 here at Schwab Field. Still tied at 0 here on NETSN. Well, Coach Jeremy Hubbard has left the building. He had to leave, but that was fun. It was fun to have him on the broadcast with us. And still right where we started. We're still 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. I did not expect this type of pitching duel today, Jaron.
Well, when you look at the 2 teams, their 2 records, you knew it was going to be a competitive game. Again, All Saints coming from a really tough district over there, but and we've seen Carmen several times this season. We know that she's incredible. You don't go pitch for UT Tyler if you're not incredible.
It's true.
But, man, this is the best game we've seen. I've seen her pitch just with how she's hitting her. And, again, against a good team.
Yeah, it's not a scrub team, and you can't sneeze on Heidi Peterson's performance in the circle for Fort Worth All Saints either, as Kinsey Licata is going to lead things off here for the Lady Guard in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And here's the thing, Jaron. If Brook Hill can push across a run in this inning, then you're 3 outs away from winning this game and moving on. So This is a pivotal moment in this ball game, and Licata 0 for 2 with a pop-out and a strikeout in her 2 appearances. She squares around, pulls back, and that's high again, ball 2.
Yeah, she squared around on both pitches, and good discipline pulled back, but it looks like they are trying to look at the small ball avenue here to get base runners.
You got to manufacture something. The way that Carmen Miller's pitching, you feel like if you could just put a run across, you got this one in the bag. 2-0. 3-0. But also don't forget, just last inning, Brook Hill started with a single, back-to-back singles, had runners at second and third, and could not push anything across. So once you get those runners on, you got to do something with them, and it's a 3-0 count right here. Red light, green light. Red light.
Red light, yeah.
Oh, called strike.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think red light for sure. I mean, 3 straight balls, yeah. I mean, you give that up, right?
Yeah.
Now you're at green light, I think.
Oh,
you think?
I still think I
still?
sit. I'm just trying to get a base runner here, man. I still think I sit. Yep, there you go. Ball 4. And that's a leadoff base runner again for the Brook Hill Lady Guard. Second inning in a row that they've done that. See if they can get something cooking now as Maddie Matheny will step in. She's 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs.
How aggressive are you going to be on the base pads here? Like,
Not.
okay.
Not. That is the most valuable base runner you've had all game.
Yeah.
The MVB. She squares around, has to pull back. And and now nobody's at second. And a throw down, and she's in there. That is a free 60 feet for Kenzie Licata.
Of course, she was watching the ball. We're seriously, there's no one there. Just go.
Wow.
I like to say I spoke that into.
Well, and it goes against everything I said. Don't be aggressive. And she was ultra aggressive. But again, I think it was just you caught All Saints napping, right?
Yeah,
they were playing the bunt defense and didn't have anybody covering second. Heads up base running by Licata. And a big swing and a miss right there by Maddie Matheny. And yeah, this is when everything gets a little tighter, huh? Everything is amplified. We were talking about mistakes earlier, minimizing mistakes. This is when you have to minimize any mistakes, capitalize on anything that the other team does. 1-1. Matheny squares around. Ooh, bunts it foul. So now with 2 strikes, you would think Matheny's going to swing away. And I heard that too, that she's worrying me because she's getting real close to the front of that batter's box. And if she's out of the batter's box when she tries to make contact, it's going to be an automatic out. So she's real close to getting out of that box. She's inching up there as she was bunting. Now with 2 strikes, I don't foresee her trying to bunt.
I think Coach Brawley might have helped her out.
So now we have a 1 and 2 strike count here. Here's the pitch from Peterson. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. So there's the first out of the 6th inning. It's a punch out. So now Licata out there at second base with 1 out. And in steps Miley Booth. And this may be best case scenario if you're a Brook Hill Lady Guard fan. Booth, 2 for 2 with 2 singles tonight. And if she can get a single today, right now, this might just break the game open.
Yeah, I think a single's, I mean, unless it's just hit right back to the third baseman, I think a single's going to score 1.
Licata, decent speed out there at second. Swung on and missed. Called strike.
Though. She's getting.
She's out there. She is for sure out there. No balls and 1 strike here to Miley Booth. Little high. Ball 1.
Yeah, a little chin music, high and tight inside.
Feels like the intensity in the stadium has picked up a little bit.
A little bit.
Late in this contest, still 0-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Peterson, the pitch. That's a little dribbler towards short. It's going to be fielded by Barry at third. Fires to first, and it's past her. And that's going to score a run for the Lady Guard. And Booth is at second base. She'll stop there. And Brook Hill takes a 1-0 lead here in the bottom half of the 6th inning.
A little dribbler there, like you said, and it forced the throw, and it was just a little off target, and so it's the team that makes the least mistakes, right?
I think I'm going to give that a single and an E5.
Yeah.
Because I think Booth would have made it anyway, but the throw helped her advance to second. But the main thing is Mackenzie Licata came in to score, and it is a 1-0 lead now for the Brook Hill Lady Guard with Allison Matthews coming up and another runner out there at second base.
Yeah, I think Booth would have reached on that.
Oh.
It
hit her.
got her jersey, yeah. She didn't budge. She was a statue when that ball came in.
Well, and this is the first time that we've seen maybe Peterson get a little rattled here this afternoon, right? After how that inning started with a walk, then you get that big punch out, and then just a little dribbler that even if Barry holds it, then you have runners at the corners with one away, but threw it away, and now All Saints is reeling a little bit.
Want to see a bunt here?
Sure. I think so. That would be a nice idea. There, you called it, Jaron. Look at you.
Ball one, she pulled it back.
So Colby Winkle, who had a single and was stranded at third base in the 5th inning, not leading things off here, but up to bat with 2 on and just 1 away.
Yeah, I'm saying you've got them off balance a little bit here, right? So I think this is when you try to force some more mistakes.
Winkle pops that bunt up, and it's caught by the first baseman. That is Von Ruff that catches the popped-up bunt for out number 2. Nobody advances.
You do run that risk.
You do run that risk as well. This is Peyton Byers coming up to bat now with 2 on and 2 away. And if you're Brook Hill, or if you're All Saints, I should say, if you were watching the game, that 1 run looks like 10, the way that Carmen Miller's been pitching this afternoon. That one's way high, and it's going to advance. Both runners throw down to third, but she's in there as both runners advance on the wild pitch.
That was an aggressive throw. I'm a little surprised in this situation that she made that throw.
Well, trying to get out of this inning, But yeah, if that goes into left field, you're risking a 1-run deficit turning into 2, which then seems very insurmountable. But if you're Brook Hill, you want to get a little insurance because, yes, the way Carmen's been pitching is great, but 1 run, that's 1 swing of the bat that could change the game. Byers fouls that off.
And she, again, I want to give Byers her prep. She had that great hit last time.
Yes. Very, very good hit. Looking ahead to the bottom or the 7th inning, that now that All Saints is down to their final 3 outs, you got the 4, 5, 6 of Maggie Meyer, Ava Berry, and AC Hardaway due up. Meyer, remember, for All Saints has been on base twice with 2 hits, so tough start in the 7th. You want to get some insurance if you can, if you're Brook Hill.
That one's fouled away.
1 ball and 2 strikes now to Byers.
Chat with us. Say go Guard, or if maybe you're from the Fort Worth area and DFW, you're cheering for the Saints. Let us know that. Just want to know who's out there, and thanks so much for tuning in here.
Coach Brawley chatting with the umpires. I believe the catcher and we got a little meeting going on between catcher and pitcher.
When you think about just both these coaches out here, how many years of coaching experience between Coach Brawley and Coach Springer?
Yeah,
and
that explains a little bit of why Brook Hill softball has been so successful. Once you realize how many years combined they have, just the knowledge. They've forgotten more about softball than me and you know.
Oh yeah, easily. And again, Coach Springer also, the pitching coach for UT Tyler, and
so I think he knows good softball.
Yeah, Coach Brawley's been an East Texas coaching legend. I mean, just been coaching all over East Texas for many years.
UT Tyler took a tough loss on Sunday. He split a doubleheader with St. Mary's. Kind of surprised they took a L there. Here's the 1-2. Byers fouls it off to stay alive. Still ranked number 2 or number 3 in the nation, so I mean it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, surprised they took a L. We got a couple of East Texans on that team. Got Sam Schott from Spring Hill, Berlin Grossman from Bullard on that squad as well. Crimson Bryant, Sulphur Springs, a pitcher.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, but it's dropped, and she's going to throw. All she's got to do is throw it to first. There we go. The run,
but
that run counts, right?
It should count the run.
That run counts because she scored before the, right? Hold on.
I think it scores. We keep it here because.
No, the run don't. It was a. Is that what he's saying? Does it count? Just one.
Oh, he's
so the
gonna
run
say
does not
just
count.
one.
Okay, run does not count. So the reason I think is because it wasn't.
Because she didn't start throwing, didn't start running.
It wasn't because it was a strikeout.
Yeah.
It was a strikeout. It wasn't like a ball hit and play that he scored before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if she runs though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's a strikeout. Main thing is that Brook Hill gets across a run that puts them in the lead, and now All Saints just 3 outs remaining in their season potentially. Carmen Miller looking for the complete game shutout. If she can continue to get this thing here. Jaron, what do you expect to see here? You're starting things off with Matheny, who's had a really good afternoon at the plate. That's I feel like if Miller can get past Matheny, it's kind of home selling from there.
Yeah. And sorry, I'm just now putting that run for Brook Hill on the.
Oh.
Because, we have this cool thing called scoreboard, but it doesn't work here, so I usually don't have to update the score. But Rob Mullins, one of our camera guys, watching said, update score, please. I'm like, oh, yeah, that thing.
So Carmen has faced, I'm trying to make sure I get this accurate. She struck out 18. But what I'm trying to figure out, there's been 3 singles and no walks, right? So she's faced 21 batters and struck out 18. And then she starts with a strike to Maggie Meyer. And Meyer has 2 of the 3 hits tonight.
And again, I know it sounds like a broken record, but it's also how she's doing it. She's painting all parts of the zone. Oh, my God.
Oh, she missed it. She missed it. I thought that was going to be a called strike. That was a beautiful pitch.
I think it came across a little too high. It fell in the breadbasket eventually, but I think it came across the plate a little too high.
1-1. And what I think is impressive, too, is there's not been another out recorded by anyone other than Carmen Miller. Like, there's been 3 hits, but all the outs this afternoon for Brook Hill have been strikeouts, which is there's number 19. No. as you say that, and that is, I think that's the most impressive thing. Like, it's not been a ground ball here for an out or a pop out there for an out. It has been 19 punch outs. And going back to the 4th inning, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 punch outs in a row. She has gone through the lineup the entire time. Meyer was the last one to reach base. She's gone through the entire lineup, punching everybody out. This is an amazing pitching performance, and she rolls that one in.
Yeah, again, she's come out, and again, I don't want to jinx anything, but the next match is a big one. But with how Carmen's throwing,
popped up and caught by Licata, and there goes the streak of 19 Ks and 19 outs. Now it's 20 outs and 19 strikeouts. 1 pop out to first base. I was kind of hoping they would all end in strikeouts. I wanted to see that. I've never seen that happen.
Now Brook Hill's just 1 out away from advancing to take on Midland Christian in this 2nd round.
And AC Hardaway is the final opportunity for the Saints, and she is the only other person to reach base this afternoon for All Saints. She had a hit back in the 2nd inning. She takes strike 1.
That one had a little sauce on it. She put a little something on that pitch. She ready to go to the house.
Looking for number 20 here from Carmen Miller. 2 strikes. Carmen Miller looking to send Brook Hill to the next round with a 1-0 win. If she can get this out here of AC Hardaway. The pitch. High.
She came off speed. I thought she was just going to just overpower and gas it. But she tried a little finesse there.
I think we're going to get some gas here.
Yeah, I just let it rip.
The 1-2. Fouled off. And we'll do it again.
It's a good battle here.
She was late on that one, fouling that one away like that. So I'm thinking, just go a little off speed. Inside corner, off speed pitch. How you doing? Keep it moving.
I would try 1 more gas, and then if she battles that, then come with an off speed.
The 1-2. Popped up right side, going back, and it's going to be Miley Booth.
They do it.
To squeeze it, and that'll do it. The Brook Hill Lady Guard behind a 19 strikeout performance from Carmen Miller and an RBI single from Miley Booth that scored Kinsey Licata. The Brook Hill Lady Guard will beat Fort Worth All Saints 1-0 to advance to the next round and take on Midland Christian. Jaron, got any final thoughts?
Man, you can't ask for much better in a playoff game, especially in the first round. Good two quality teams, and again, just pitchers. You got to give it to both pitchers. Peterson, incredible job for All Saints, and but Carmen Miller, what a performance! Just came in and bared down, didn't get rattled at all, even when All Saints tried to put some base runners on the path there. But great job by the whole Brook Hill squad. They got base runners when they needed them. They got that one run across the plate, and so. Great effort. Now they got a tall order against Midland Christian coming up, but celebrate this win and then on to the next one.
Well, that was a fun one, Jaron. I enjoyed that.
It was.
Where are you going to be at the rest of this week? So people that are watching on NETSN, I know the games won't be on NETSN, but it'll be the crew, the NETSN crew, but you have to go through NFHS for playoffs. But you're going to be back here Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday I'll be here as Tatum takes on Mineola in the first round, but then I know we've got Keith Whitman. He'll be doing on Friday and Saturday. He'll be doing White Oak, and I forgot who they're playing their first round. I forgot who it is, but he'll be doing that matchup, and then Brett Sweeney will have that West Rusk playoff matchup on Thursday and Friday. So a lot of great action here on NETSN. They'll be bringing you, and then so it'll be a good week. So, and you'll be going down to the state track meet.
That's right.
A lot of East Texas athletes there.
Yep.
So
I'll be going down tomorrow to Austin for the state track meet, 3A, 4A on Thursday, 2A, 5A on Friday, and 1A, 6A on Saturday. Check out KLTV, KTRE.com. I'll have all the stuff there for you and all the results and winners, interviews with the winners, all that good stuff. Look, it's going to be a good time. But that'll do it for our broadcast here today. For Jaron Peoples, I'm KO Kyle Owens. You've been Brook Hill wins the TAPS Division II area round matchup over Fort Worth All Saints 1-0. Keep watching NETSN. We'll be back. See you later.